Okay, now we're in our news and views segment, and here we review the developments in Asia, the relations of China and the Philippines, and the world. And we'll be focusing on a fake news item because this fake news was carried by so many Philippine mainstream columnists and even mainstream media reports. This report, in essence, says that the Philippines will be held in bondage, will be enslaved by China with this Duterte China projects of $25 billion. Not clarifying that these are not just all loans, but more important, stating very unequivocally that the interest rate will be 10% or more. And so we had to expose this because this came out in columns in Philippine Star, Inquirer, and many other papers, and in many reports. And this is absolutely false because the template that is used, and which Butch will explain, for development projects, and of course if it's grant, there is no interest. For development projects, concessional rates of 2 to 3, 3.5% maximum. But even such size of commercial loans would not be 10% because these are in the billions of dollars. I think we have an image of underscore, and we will elaborate. The spelling, of course, is ANDERS and then CORR. And he is, we will show it later, he is a U.S. military asset and an associate of Booz Allen and Hamilton. We'll explain a bit later, which the Bloomberg.com, the internet version of the Bloomberg News, the Booz Allen and Hamilton is described by Bloomberg as the most profitable private spy agency organization, and almost all its contracts are with the U.S. government. Anyway, Butch, a brief comment, and then we'll go to the other angles or aspects of the media forum discussion. Butch.
Well, the claims being made by Mr. Underscore, I was just asking you earlier that is Underscore a real name or is it a nom de guerre? No. But are absurd, no? And rather childish, I think, created to instill fear, no, among those that probably do not understand what's going on. No? He's attributing the kind of imperialist methods imposed on us by the monetary agencies, the money lending agencies in the past how many decades now, maybe 4 or 5 decades, no? Which is laying out a debt trap for us. No? Our country has been in a debt trap for so long. No? And the system that was used is not through developmental loans. The system that was used was through an imposition of what they call the floating exchange rate system, wherein they continuously and periodically devalued our currency as imposed on us by IMF, no? In order to bring down the level, the value of our currency vis-a-vis the US dollar.
And cheapen our products
exactly
for the dollar.
Yeah, and make it even more difficult to repay our dollar debts. And this is an imposition. This is arbitrary on the part of the money lenders.
Yeah. No? In the discussion there at the media forum, somebody was looking for the term, the austerity programs of the IMF.
Yeah.
Well, because they squeeze the borrowing country to such extent that it cannot repay, and it will have to keep borrowing and growing the debt.
Exactly. They squeeze you so much that they also create a situation that World Bank and the other money lending agents do not lend money for infrastructure. So the capacity to repay that debt is not there.
That's right. Yeah,
and this is the imperialist method that has been imposed on us. Now, the reverse of this concept is precisely what is now being offered by the institutions like AIIB and the BRICS Bank and so on and so forth. It's a developmental loan, no?
Yes.
And nothing in the line of 10%. Let us not equate the present interest structure being lent out by money lenders, including ADB and including World Bank, to what is now being offered. the kind of concessional loans that are being offered for development goes as low as 1.5 to 2% per annum.
Yeah.
No? And more than that, they give you tremendous length of time for what we call a moratorium.
Yeah, grace period.
Grace period. Yeah.
5 years,
yeah.
sometimes 10
Up
years.
to 10 years.
Up to 10
right?
years, yeah.
So, and these are concessional loans, and loans being given for different type of infrastructure, power generation, nuclear power plants, no, dams that, no, and telecommunications and fast rail systems.
Butch, we'll have more of that in our Philippine-China Focus segment. But I just want to state that Butch is a finance expert, and he has managed an accounting and auditing firm in the past. We'll have more of that. But the media forum, of course, had the other resource persons. One of them, Celso Cainglet, who narrated his experience as a consultant to the Cambodian government and his many sojourns across ASEAN and Asia, and how China has been engaged with this society. So let's listen to Professor Celso Cainglet.
Good morning. I'll start with my personal experience. When I was doing consultancy in the government of Cambodia, I had the opportunity to go around Southeast Asia. And personally, I saw how China really developed their neighbors. Unlike America, who tried to spread their influence through battle carrier group, China is spreading their influence through economic development. And there is a shift of prosperity from the west to the east. Western countries are dying, their economy is collapsing. Whereas here in Asia, the economy is very robust and prosperity is in the air. And it's just a pity that the previous administration, because they mishandled the issue, missed 6 years of that opportunity. It's a good thing now that we are into the One Belt, One Road. Now, what really dismays me is that recently you can see in the mainstream media or even social media trying to discredit the good effort of this One Belt, One Road, even the President Duterte. And what I notice is just they're trying to mangle loans, grants, and aids, no? As if everything that China will give us will be in the form of loans. It's not true. No? Why? Because there is really a deliberate effort to demonize China. I just cannot cite the institutions involved, but money is involved. Money is involved to really demonize China. And it's not a difficult thing to do because of the chronic colonial mentality of many Filipinos. No? Now, we should not miss the boat, as Kamintong said. Whether it's loan, grants, or aids, will there be strings attached? Of course, that's normal. But whatever the strings attached are will not be as malevolent as the strings of World Bank, IMF, no, who for many years have really impoverished our country. So we have a duty to explain to the people, no, as what my other colleagues here have said, to really explain to the people what is really going on. Thank you.
Okay, so that was Celso Cainglet, and I was going to ask, Celso is very confident about the intentions of China to develop the neighborhood it is in. Of course, there are many trying to cast doubt on that, and in fact, inserting the idea that China is going to be imperialistic, hegemonistic, and will capture these other societies. What's your reaction to this?
Well, there is a proposed change that China is initiating. And China can't do it by itself, no? And that is why it's heartening to see that there are 130 countries initially want to participate in this whole effort. There is a paradigm change for an economic order, no? And those that have been in this hegemonic system, the present monetary system that is now being implemented around the world, are of course going to balk and reject this and go do everything that they could, just like Mr. Underscore, to dissuade leaders of different countries from participating in this. No? From what is basically a monetary system of using money as a commodity to a different type of economics, wherein development is the key and the quality of human life is the object, is the profit, not monetary profit. And this is what President Xi, President Putin, and to a great extent, even President Trump is agreed in implementing for the rest of the world as a paradigm shift for an economic order.
Yeah.
Now, it is not just the neighborhood of China that is being affected here. This is planet-wide, and it is not politics that China is interested in. It's economic development, and they realize now, especially from the pitfalls of what is now we're now seeing as a collapsing financial system. From the pitfalls of that, they don't want to go to that extent.
Okay. In our next segment, focusing on the Philippines-China relationship, Butch will amplify these things that he has just explained. Okay, we'll have to take this break.